Today we're going to take a look at rational numbers. A rational number is basically any number that can be written as a fraction. So we say usually as A over B. What that means is that our traditional fractions, 1/2, -3/8, 4 and 2/3, these are all rational numbers, okay? Even 4 and 2/3 can be written as 14/3. But even numbers such as 0.25, what's called a terminating decimal, is a rational number, as is something like 0.3 repeated. Okay, so repeating decimals are what are called rational numbers. Okay, because both these can be written, 0.25 can be written as 1/4, 0.3 repeating can be written as 1/3. Okay, and then in a whole another category of numbers, a number like 2 is a rational number because we can write it as 2 over 1. -5 is a rational number because it can be written as -5 over 1. 0 is a rational number because it can be written 0 over any number, really, 0 over 5, for example. Okay, to meet this category, that can be written as A over B. Now, when we go to compare rational numbers, this can sometimes be a little bit more complicated, okay, at least just to our normal eyes. So, for example, if I wanted to compare 1/2 and 2/3 and know which one is larger, I would, in a sense, have to think about a number line. And I would have to break it down into components, okay? That I would have 0, maybe 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1. But then I'd also have to think about where thirds lie. So 1/3 might be about here, and 2/3 is probably right around here if I divide it up into thirds. So which one is bigger? Well, I could say that 2/3 is going to be greater than 1/2, or 1/2 is less than 2/3. So I could look at a number line and go by it, but that becomes a little bit complicated at moments. So often, what's a little bit easier, or a little bit quicker in some ways, is to start with the 1/2 and the 2/3. Find a common denominator. So what's the common denominator of 2 and 3? It's going to be 6. 1/2 is 3/6. 2/3 will be 4/6. Well, if I have 3/6 versus 4/6, the 4/6 will be larger, will be greater. So probably the best way about solving or figuring out which one is larger, which one is less than, is to use this method of finding a common denominator. Always realizing that it depends on what is on my number line. Now, sometimes, instead of just being given fractions to compare, I'm given a couple different values, like say -0.06, -2/3, and maybe -0.62, for example. Well, which one's greater, or which one's less? Okay. If I'm given mixed formats, like if I'm given some decimals, some fractions, the easiest thing is generally to compare, change everything into a decimal and give it the same number of decimal places. So -0.6, I'm going to make negative 60 hundredths. Okay, so I have 2 decimal places. Negative 2/3 is actually going to be negative 0.6, where the 6 is repeating. So I'm going to just bring it out to 2 decimal places, negative 0.66. And the last one is negative 0.62. So if once again I think about a number line, so 0 might be somewhere over here, okay? I'm going to kind of break this number line up. Come over here, make this negative 0.60, negative 0.61, negative 0.62, negative 0.63, negative 0.64, negative 0.65,